Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm having technical issues tonight. Can you see me? Give me 1 second. You'll be able to see me in a second. Hi. How are you? My monitor keeps cutting off, so my screen keeps going black. But I know you can see and hear me. Tiff, if I say 911, get back on the stage, girl. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Woman to Woman. We are real women. We have real issues. And on this show, we have real conversations. So I just want to welcome back our regulars. Welcome back any guests we may have. I'm super excited for what we're going to do tonight. If you were with us last week, I had some fun. I had some guests. My regular co-host, Tiffany Clark, she back out there in them corporate streets. God help us all. Y'all keep y'all girl Tiff lifted in prayer. She done hit the road again. She done become, who that sing that? Willie Nelson, on the road again. That's who she is. So, but I am honored to be joined tonight by who I have dubbed as the other Tiffany. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage none other than my girl, one of the co-hosts of the newly formed podcast, Coffee and what's it called? Coffee and wait, I got it. Mimosas. I can't forget the best part of it. The coffee and mimosas. Come on, girl. Welcome y'all, everyone. Tiffany McKinney, my other Tiffany. Here she is.
Hey.
Coffee and mimosa. I told you I want to be one of your guests. I'm looking forward to that one.
Looking forward to it. I'm glad.
And I honestly, God, Tiff, I don't know what's happening. My screen keeps going black, so it keeps blacking out.
I got you. We got it.
Like it's as soon as I went to go turn off the song and open my camera, the screen went black, and I'm like, oh well, you can't see anything to do that. Okay, cool. So it's okay. Again, we had some tech issues getting connected, and God help me, I took a little nap because I had been up since 1 something this morning. Mm-hmm. And my daughter said, girl, you walking harder than I do. That's what happens when you oversleep by 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. It throws your whole, let me say it, tap your neighbor in the back and say your whole world.
Your whole world.
And my tech guy is my son, and he would be fussing. I know, and he's also listening. Because with the issues with the monitor, he says, see, that's why I tell you need to be downstairs by da-da-da-da-da. Because
it's all right.
You can address then, but you always wait to the last minute, Mom, and da-da-da.
Just go like that. Just go like that.
Okay, what you want, a cookie? So, and mind you, I've been on lives earlier. I did a whole conversation interview. I had no issues. But anyway, we are here, y'all. We
here now. We
is here. So again, I'm super excited about tonight's show because we're bringing back the person who sat down with me for the very first show of this relaunch, and that was Dr. Donna Hubbard. And she sat down and shared her story of being a victim of sex trafficking, prostitution, and it was horrific. It was harrowing. It was real. It was raw. But what mostly excites me is the other side of the story. You know, we hear about the victim, but when you see the other side and all that she's accomplished, and then what she's taking with that pain, and it has truly, truly become her purpose. And a lot of times we don't understand why we go through what we go through. And I know church was yesterday, but I feel this and I need to say it. that we don't understand what we go through, and we feel that life is being a little too harsh with us. There's always a purpose on the other side. And, one of our taglines for the show is, not only did we survive, but we survived on purpose, right? And purpose just comes alive later. And the scars are still there. Yes, some of the tears are still, but purpose overrules all that you went through. And it adds a deeper, higher meaning to the suffering, right? So if you were with us last week, what we did, we had what we called a recap nightcap. Tiffany didn't provide the audience with no mimosas, but we'll see what happens at the end of May. So, and what we did was we showed clips from the previous shows, and Tiff and my girl Ren, she was on the line. We discussed it, and that was good. That was really good. Yeah.
It was deep. It was deep.
Yeah. So, and we're closing out, as you may or may not know, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But like we always say, Black History is 1 month, but we're Black all year. Women's Month is 1 month, but every time we get up, last we checked, we were women.
Women. You know the way to put that, right?
Last I checked, I was still a chick. And so many awareness, breast cancer awareness is in October, but women are being diagnosed with breast cancer every day. So the same with sexual assault. The number, I don't have the exact number because I didn't prepare those stats. And I'm afraid to try to look for anything in this screen.
Let's just do a little quick research. I got you. Come on.
Yeah, because the number, and this is the number that they average, and that's from those attacks or assaults that have been reported, and it's always higher than what they know, right? And a lot of the most sexual assaults take place by people that women know. It's not always this random person on the street or being snatched up at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? My sexual assault, I was married to him. So, it's closer than we think.
Yep. And I do have the numbers here for you, Bree. So it does says that every 68 seconds, statistically, indicates that 81% of women and 43% of men experience some form of sexual assault.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And that's just in the U.S. We're not.
And that's just in the U.S. Yeah. Right. So I found it. It's apropos to close out what a society has set aside to acknowledge that this exists with Dr. Hubbard and her story, and what she's going to do for us tonight. She's going to go a little deeper, and like I said, she has taken this message, and it is indeed her mission. So Dr. Hubbard offers a training for sexual assault, for sex trafficking, and it's very deep and it's very detailed. And but she agreed to come on tonight to just give us a little hint, a little peek of what that entails. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to turn everything over to her. And I see you, North Carolina. I see you, New Jersey. Thank you, everyone, for being on. And I just ask everyone to really listen, and please don't forget to like and share the broadcast. And let me say this: when you like and subscribe, it is a free subscription. It is not Hulu. It is not Paramount Plus. But I was just sharing. I had to tell somebody a few weeks ago, oh no, I didn't subscribe. I said, bro, it's free. It's free. It's on YouTube. Now, when we add the word join, that's something.
Right. And then we got to talk about that.
Yeah, because that's, monetary benefit. But for right now, subscriptions are free and they will remain that way. We will grow, but please subscribe, please share. And wherever you are, if you have a sister, if you have a mother, you have a cousin, an auntie, please share this this broadcast with them right now. This is a powerful, powerful episode, and every woman out there needs to hear it. It doesn't matter your age, because even if it doesn't speak to you personally, it's a young woman that this may touch, and who needs to hear this information. So it is crucial. It's crucial. It's crucial. America, share it with everybody down at JCFC. I know there's a group chat. Send it to all the sisters, and let's get this whole thing started. So again, I have to give you this and let you know that the subject matter is very sensitive. It is for adults only. This is an adults only channel because I plan to do a lot of deeper content. And so this is not suitable for, I think Dr. Hubbard and I came up with the age of anyone. We set it at 14, but the way these kids are growing, I mean, it's 10, but that's a different
technically, yeah,
and it has to be done and handled differently. And youth ministry is not my ministry. So, okay. So, I'm going to show a couple of the clips that we showed last week, just to refresh everyone's memory, those who were not with us last week, or who did not see Dr. Hubbard's first conversation with me. All right. So let me see. Which one do I want to start with? Okay, so this is a portion of the conversation that I had with Dr. Hubbard a few weeks ago, because I don't want to use my imagination.
It looked like I was traded for AK-47s. You want her for a day? You want these guns? You give me this amount and you can take her for a day. I was traded for AK-47s, for drugs, kilos of cocaine, for if they lost a bet, if they played cards and lost a bet, Super Bowl ticket.
Okay, so that was
deep. That was heavy.
Yeah.
Because as we mentioned last week, we couldn't imagine what it's like to be handed off for material things.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, and again, these are things that we said, this is a Tyler Perry movie, right? This should be done at TP Studios. Right? Right. I told you, I'm going to hit Tyler up and send him a couple of these clips. All right. The screen just went black again. And okay, here it goes. So I got it. So this is going to lighten it up just a little bit. Right. So this is, yes, I love this clip. So check it out.
I realized that day I was in prison, and I was in an area called the bus stop. And over there they were shooting crap, and over there they were playing cards, and over there they were cussing each other's mamas out, and over there they were speaking a language I didn't understand. And I was laying in my bunk, and all of a sudden I realized, I sat up straight. I said, "Hey, I'm alive." Them people looked at me. Them girls looked at me, "Girl, you better lay down. Are you crazy? You need your meds." I said, "No, you don't get it. I'm still alive. After everything I've been through, I'm still here. I must be here for a reason. There's something I'm supposed to do."
Yeah.
And I realized that day that I was more free where I was in prison than I had been when I was incarcerated. And it was that day I began, when I was in prison, I was more free than I was when I was in the streets. But that day I made a commitment to myself that I was going to look at myself in the mirror.
All right. So that was amazing. So you have to end it on the uplifting part of it, the freedom part of it. And that's where we pick up this story, right? Because it didn't end with the AK-47 and being traded for Super Bowl tickets. So let me find, we're going to bring our guest on. Let me read her resume. Help me, Jesus.
Resume. Okay. It's all right. It's all right. The bio. We're gonna
I
go ahead and
told
remove it from
you I did not take my black girl vitamins
It's
today.
okay. Just go
Do
ahead
not
and take another sip
start
of that
with
coffee
me
you got.
today.
It's all right. It's all right. We got
Okay.
it.
America, I did not take my vitamins today, so you see the brain fog has returned. I was on my game for the last week. Okay. I'm back. All right. So, Bishop Donna Hubbard is a renowned advocate, crisis counselor, and global leader in the fight against human trafficking, criminal justice reform, and survivor empowerment. The eldest child of a community activist, she was raised by civil rights leader Hollis Watkins. Her journey from survivor to leader began after enduring gang rape, addiction, organized crime, and 7 years of human trafficking. Incarceration became her turning point, leading her to found the Woman at the Well Transition Center upon release, which has since empowered, here's your number, Tiff, 10,000 women and girls affected by trafficking, incarceration, and systemic injustice. A trusted expert in trauma-informed care and crisis intervention, Bishop Hubbard has dedicated her life to holistic rehabilitation, cultural sensitivity, and family reunification for survivors. Since 2015, she has served as Director of Human Trafficking Awareness for Airline Ambassadors, International, and consultants for government and global agencies such as the UNODC, ICAO, IATA, the City of Atlanta, and the State of Georgia. A certified trainer and global survivor leader, she has conducted over 300 human trafficking awareness trainings for law enforcement, healthcare professionals, aviation personnel, faith leaders, and policymakers. This is my favorite part. In 2023, she was commissioned to redesign American Airlines' human trafficking training for flight crews. Donna Hubbard's advocacy has earned her prestigious awards and honors, including the American Freedom Award, the Sword and Shield Award from the Attorneys General Alliance.
Multiple.
Meaning the 50 attorney generals in these United States chose her in 2023. She holds a BA and an MS degree in theater arts, biblical studies, and theology. She is also a certified Christian counselor and firefighter certification from the University of West Virginia. And in 2023, hence the doctor, Donna received an honorary doctoral degree. So we are so pleased and so proud to present none other than Bishop Donna Hubbard, Lady Donna Hubbard, Dr. Donna Hubbard, all the names. Dr. Hubbard, you can come on stage and turn your video on if you can, and please say you can. There you go.
There you go.
Now unmute yourself. There you go. You got it, girl. You got it. I love it.
It's funny because I'm always like, who is she talking about?
Who is that talking about? Who is that? You turn around and say, is that me? You hit your video again, dear. Listen, we rebuked that old tech demon. We did coming on. So we are indeed.
Is that better?
Yes, because we can see you.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm shadowed. I'm trying to figure out why my light is not on.
Because I told you to buy a ring light and you didn't listen.
Yes, I did.
We not want to start.
I bought it, but I don't know where it is.
But you see what I'm saying? You see what my life is like? Do you see that our God has put in my life?
Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. I moved. Remember?
Yes, I was going to announce that.
Yes. Could you move this light over this way? Because
thank God she's not helping the house tonight. Amen. Because
much better.
Moved.
Oh wow! What a difference!
Wow! What a difference. Beautimous!
What a difference!
Wow! There she go.
Thank you, Momo. What a difference the light makes. Okay.
Thank you, backstage. We love you. Listen,
So,
my son
I bought the
came
ring light.
downstairs just in case I needed him, because when I ran upstairs to get the book, he came out of his room. Are you okay? Why, you know?
That's what
I'm
you
like,
just
yes,
did.
yes, but I forgot
Do you
something.
need help? I'm like, yeah, I moved the light
Help
over here.
me.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I moved, and so I bought the ring light. But if you could tell me where it is, then we'll both know. So that's one. And then the other thing is, I happen to be in the room. Of course, my office would be in the room where you got to have a lamp. You know, some rooms don't have the ceiling light. You got to have a lamp and turn
the light. Yeah.
But of course, I didn't realize that until I sat down, and I'm like, I need a light.
Right.
So
right.
I had to go find a lamp, unpack it, look for a light bulb. I got the lamp and the light bulb, but it was just positioned wrong. So we got it right now.
Okay.
And I just have to thank you so much for that, for reading my entire bio. I know.
The
entire bio, but
there's still a whole paragraph.
No, honestly, somebody said to me, if I read all the stuff you've done, we'd be here, forget the program, we'd be here trying to read. But sometimes it amazes me that God has done such a marvelous work in my life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And who am I that I would deserve any of this? But God loved me so much. He loved us so much that he gave his only begotten son. So, what else can I ask for? He loved me enough to I survived my life. How about that?
That's it.
When
you survive on purpose.
My life, That's
right.
And that's really how I look at it, is that I survived my life, and it's nobody but God's grace. But, I also have to say, we have to be willing to receive God's grace. It's not that he doesn't give it, but we have to be willing to receive it. And I think for so many years, how I felt about myself kept me from receiving the fullness of what God had for me, because, Lady Brick, Tiffany, we attract what we think we deserve.
Right.
So,
right.
One more time.
I say it this way: everybody that starts out with us don't finish with us, but we attract what we think we deserve, and we keep this cycle going to the point where every time I just picked the wrong kind of man. That's because that it's not about how we're looking at them; it's how we're looking at ourselves.
Right. Right.
And so I had to really begin to look at myself differently. I had to really begin to see who I am and look in the mirror at myself. Looking in the mirror was a big part of coming to this place in my life, is being able to look myself in the mirror.
Okay.
Because I firmly believe when we tell people we love God, but we don't love ourselves, we're lying. How are you going to tell me you love a God you don't see when you look in the mirror and don't love that person? So it's been a journey, and I'm so grateful that I'm where I am now, because so much of what I've learned about how to turn my own life around, I survived my life. I learned by the principles of accountability, commitment, and consistency. And those are the principles that helped me to change my life. So that's another story. I want to talk a little bit about the issue of human trafficking, and it's so important that we get this message for three primary reasons. There's a lot of reasons, but three primary reasons.
All right, Dr. Hubbard, before you continue, Tiffany and I are just going to totally turn the stage over to you. So all that are viewing, they're not distracted by us. So ladies and gentlemen, because I see a couple of men in the chat, we're going to put this in Dr. Hubbard's hands, and she is yours and you are hers for the next 15 minutes or so. So please, again, please make sure that you share this. This is very important information. Again, we all know somebody. We all know someone. The summer's coming. We all know someone.
Yep.
Who may be planning to take a trip to young women, right? We know someone who would benefit from this information. So Dr. Hubbard, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. So I first have to give God the glory for my life and for my salvation and for the fact that I'm still here. I can look at myself every day in the mirror and say, girl, are you still here? I'm still here. The devil should have killed me when he had a chance, because now I'm armed and dangerous. I'm going to say it one more time. He messed up when he didn't do it then, because now I know too much. See, now I'm armed and dangerous. That's different. Back then I was just armed. Now I'm armed and dangerous. because I know how to fight a battle now. And so I learned this because of what I survived. And I was saying that there are three primary reasons that it is important that we understand human trafficking. We understand what it is, how it affects us, and what we can do if we see it. Okay? What is our response to it? So, why it's important is because we look at human trafficking as just sexual exploitation. But let's get an understanding. Human trafficking is truly one group of people oppressing another group of people and making a living off of those other individuals. It is the sale and the transfer of human beings for revenue, for recreation. And so it's not just sexual exploitation. Human trafficking includes organ harvesting. It includes sexual exploitation, yes. It includes child marriages, and we know about those, okay? We know that there have been young girls who have been sold to celebrities. We won't mention names, but we know that happens to celebrities and sports figures and entertainers. And it's also child soldiers. And somebody asked me, well, that doesn't happen here. That happens over in Africa, or over in Asia. And I said, when a drug dealer puts a weapon in a child's hand and tells him, bring me back my money, here's a package of drugs, bring me back my money, he just recruited a child soldier. Excuse me. So, and it's also labor trafficking. And as quiet as it's kept, people think human trafficking is just sexual exploitation, but human trafficking is actually includes all of those things: drug trafficking, weapons trafficking, organ harvesting. Oh, excuse me. And it is not just sexual exploitation, and we don't think about that. So it's important that we understand what it is and what it isn't. The difference between smuggling and trafficking. There is a difference. What is it? That's something that takes a little bit longer discussion. But there is a difference between smuggling and trafficking, and it's important that we know it. It's important that we understand what we see, because trafficking, we used to think that was just prostitution. It was just a pimp having a girl on the street. Human trafficking is so much more than that. It is the exploitation of human beings. It is, in short, modern day slavery. Nothing short of that. That's what it is. It's modern day slavery. And we think it can happen. It happens somewhere else. No, it happens everywhere, including right here in the United States, right here in our own cities. It could be in our own communities. It could be in our own family. And so quite often we don't recognize human trafficking because we know something doesn't look right, but number one, we don't want to get involved, and we don't want to be wrong. And that's why most people don't report it. But we see it and we're not sure who to tell. We see it and we're not sure what we see. So one of the things that we talk about in my trainings is recognizing and reporting human trafficking. Why is that important? And really recognizing it and reporting it is how we literally are able to justify setting up programs, getting police involved, training law enforcement, public health officials, educators, clergy, sororities, fraternities. How do we make sure people know what to do if they see something? I've been a flight attendant for 4 decades. And literally, when I was trafficked, I was recruited and actually groomed from an airline, from the airplane. And I was a flight attendant. I was young, looking for love in all the wrong places. But I was recruited while I was working on the airplane. But even now, there are cases where young girls and young boys are groomed from airplanes, on airplanes, major commercial airlines, international and domestic. And so for the 48 years that I've been flying, in between that, I went to prison. It was my only means of escaping my traffickers because they were going to kill me. And I knew that because I had heard them talking. And So I knew that my days were numbered. I knew too much and I made them too much money. So while I was making them a lot of money, I was also a liability to them. And so my only way of escaping was to go to prison. And so many women in prison will tell you that their experience with prison overlaps with their experience with domestic violence and trafficking or exploitation in some way. So, so it's important we know what human trafficking is. And let me say this: when you think you see something and you're not sure what you see, ask somebody. Say, do you see that those over there, those people over there in the corner? What does that look like to you? And if both of you see something that doesn't look right, now I can talk to you about what to do next. So that's number one. That's why it's important, because it's happening right under our nose. It happens at major sporting events, major entertainment events. It happens at, in small towns. It happens in big cities. It happens in families. It happens in communities. So trafficking is the number one. It is the number one human rights issue of our generation. They make more than $150 billion a year on human trafficking. I'm going to say it one more time. They make more than $150 billion a year on trafficking human beings. We're talking about the numbers that include Nike and Starbucks and more than that. Okay. So, and again, like I said, the number one form of trafficking is labor trafficking. So that's why it's important for us to know what it is. It's important for us to be able to share this information within our families, our communities, at our jobs, in our churches, because we don't want to wait till somebody says my teenage granddaughter, my daughter, my son is missing, for us to find out that they may have been scouted or groomed by a trafficker. And when I say it can happen to anyone, it can happen to anyone. So it happened to me. It can happen to anyone. I know human trafficking does not differentiate by race, color, nationality, the language you speak, the community you live in. It doesn't matter whether you're in the ghetto or you're on Capitol Hill. It does not matter. Human trafficking does not differentiate. We know news cases that have been in the news for the past 3 years about celebrities and people who were very, very wealthy who monopolized and exploited women and girls. We know cases where during Hurricane Katrina, during the earthquakes in Haiti, where human trafficking rose over 400%. In our training, we talk about what are the vulnerabilities of individuals, what makes individuals vulnerable to trafficking. And I think it's important to know in the public health area industry, in aviation industry, if you are teaching at a school, if you're in law enforcement. The partner that I work with on the streets here in Atlanta is a deputy sheriff. And for a long time, he only thought about the fact that we were women who were being pimped and needed to be locked up in prison, until he began to look at us and began to look at the bigger picture. And he understood at that point that it wasn't just about locking us up. It's about finding what is the ills that happen in our community that put us in a position to be exploited this way. What's happening in our communities that put girls and women and young boys in a position to be exploited this way. And so when we talk about how it impacts us, you look at the statistics with the International Labor Organization state that there is currently 360,000 reports of missing children in the U.S. That's 1,000 children that go missing every day. You have the NFL Hall of Famers, you have the NFL, you have National Organization of Black Law Enforcement, you have our organization, Women at the Well Transition Center, and the Child ID program, working to educate families and communities and to provide packets for parents to be able to complete the documentation needed for their children, because when a child goes missing, time is critical. Every minute, every hour matters. And when the police come and ask you questions, then they'll tell you, give us 72 hours, give us 48 hours. It's because they need to gather information. And with the child ID packets that we provide, that information is at the tip of your fingers. You have a package that includes a child's picture and includes their DNA and all the information that those officers need to begin an investigation. Time is critical when children are missing. So it's important. And how it impacts us. It impacts our schools when children are being trafficked during lunch hour. I know that sounds crazy, but it happens. All you have to do is ask some of these teenage girls about their friend that leaves school for lunch with a boyfriend who's older, drives a fancy car, and she comes back to school after lunch. If she comes back, she's got more money. She dresses inappropriately. She may appear to be intoxicated or she may under the influence. She may have bruises on her body. She may have a pocket full of condoms or hotel room keys. Those are the things you have to look for, that we talk about. What are those indicators? What are those indications that we need to know about, that we need to see? In public health, when you have community health centers and those individuals are looking at someone who brings 3 or 4 girls in every 3 to 6 months for a checkup to test them for STDs, and these girls have a pocket full of hotel room keys or condoms. Those are red flags that all of us need to be aware of. We have businesses in red light districts, and these businesses are impacted by human trafficking as well, because sometimes, quite often, it draws the wrong kind of attention, especially when children's bodies and women's bodies and men and their bodies are found in garbage cans behind these businesses, in dumpsters, in abandoned houses. How does it impact our communities? It takes revenue out of our communities that could benefit families and children and young people, and it puts it in the hands of people who do not care whose mother, sister, daughter you are. So that's what it is. That's how it impacts us, and what you can do about it. There are several things you can do about it, but the first thing begins with learning how to recognize and report it. And that's how police officers can keep a record of areas where these reports come from. They keep a record of our reporting, what we saw. What was that person wearing? What did you hear them say that gave you the indication that something was wrong? Where were you? What bus stop were you at? What part of town were you in? What was the person wearing? What did he look like? I know tattoos are not all bad. However, some of the traffickers are tattooing the girls and the boys and the tattoos are indicators that this is someone else's property, that this human being belongs to someone, and they will tattoo a barcode on the back of their neck, on their arms, and within that industry of trafficking, traffickers know, and Johns know, that person belongs to someone, to a trafficker. One of the things that I learned most recently, it shocked me. Pollen in Atlanta is no joke. Anyway, I'm gonna wind my time down with this. Recently, we learned when I went to Super Bowl last year, and we were walking around the city of New Orleans. But it happens in more than New Orleans. It's happening in Texas. It's happening in San Francisco, in Los Angeles. It's happening in Miami, in New York, where U-Haul trucks or rental trucks are being used as hotel rooms. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But what happens is they book a girl or a boy or a child online on some of these back pages, and they are given the corner and the cross street and even the number on the truck. They pay for it sometimes online, and sometimes they pay for it to the person that's sitting in the driver's seat, and they walk around to the back, and the door is raised, and inside it looks like a hotel room. It has a light being run by a generator. It has a bed. It's fragrance, food. I was in shock. I thought I had seen it all. I thought I had done it all. Because I mean, there's some of the things that happened to me, you can't make this stuff up. And so they're finding ways of trafficking individuals to try and get around law enforcement and even community advocates. They don't just call people up or get them on the internet anymore. They don't just kidnap people. They even are training people to go into the jails and prisons and recruit people in jail and prison who might be homeless. And they will tell them, you can come and live with me and my boyfriend. You can come and live with me and my daddy if you don't have anywhere to go. And that daddy ends up being the wrong kind of daddy. Okay. So our program, our presentation is what you're kind of what you're listening to right now. But our training is much more intense. It provides you with tools that you can use to share this information, to use to recognize at your job, whether you work as a flight attendant like myself, or a law enforcement officer, or a public health official, or an educator. What do you need to know? And that's what I've spent the last 7 years, the last 11 years, myself and Officer Weldon have spent the last 11 years not only doing trainings around the country, but around the world. I've trained from Dubai to Qatar, Latvia, Romania, Africa, South America, and all the way in Malaysia on how to recognize and report human trafficking, because it's an issue that happens everywhere and it can happen to anyone. And so what we do to protect our communities and our families is to get trained, pass that information on, and remain vigilant. If you see something, say something. So I encourage you, if you are a sorority or fraternity, if you are a church, small or large, because guess what? I've been a flight attendant. I get to fly on my own. Okay. I often say I fly for free. It's not always free, but sometimes. And but it's important to me. When I came home from prison, my job that I left was what I love doing more than anything. I have a servant's heart, so I love serving, and I loved what I do as a flight attendant. And I said, God, if you allow me to go back to this job, I promise I will never let money be the reason that I don't go and serve you. And I know that my calling to serve allows me to be available to people, whether it's a church, a sorority, a small organization, a law enforcement agency that happens to be in a crossroads, a school where you've got some major issues with these girls and with little boys being trafficked in the bathrooms during lunch hour. I was traded for everything from Super Bowl tickets to kilos of cocaine. And I didn't know how to tell anybody what was happening to me. So a lot of these kids are stuck. They don't know who to tell. They don't know what to say. They're not even sure how to explain what's happening to them. But if we're educated and we're informed, then we can also pass that on to the children in our communities and in our families, so that we're prepared, so that we're educated, we're informed. And that's what matters most, is making sure that we're educated, informed, and prepared and we've got to be able to see what's going on around us. Traffickers count on us not paying attention to what's going on around us. They count on us not seeing what we're looking at. And I think that's one of the reasons why human trafficking happens so often in airports, because there isn't a place anywhere where more people move more quickly through any area than airports. So I just, I encourage you to reach out to me. My website is bishopdonnahubbard.com if you're interested in scheduling a training, a presentation. Sometimes people say, I'm a small church, I don't know if we can afford you. Well, put about 4 small churches together, let's get it done, so that I don't have to get that phone call 2 weeks from now that one of those kids is missing. I have to thank you, Lady Bree and Tiffany, for allowing me to share this information, and for encouraging your listeners, your viewers to get on board instead of watching. There are three types of people. There are some people that watch things happen, some people that let things happen, and some people make things happen. And you got to ask yourself, which one are you?
That was good. I think we could pick it up from there. You said a couple of things before we, as I'm trying to fix my monitor, I am listening. I'm
Can I say something? I'm just trying to still fix it. I got you, Bria.
All kinds of fits that you, thank God, can't see on camera. But I do have, there was a couple of things that you said that I did write down. And when you said it was $150 billion a year, and I love to use the word industry, but that's the only word that comes to mind. And you compared it to Nike and Starbucks.
Yeah, $150 billion is what they're making on exploiting human beings annually, and that is the last year's report from the ILO, International Labor Organization. And let's include this. Those numbers don't include the numbers of children, indigenous children missing from reservations, and the amount of money that is being made on those children. My mother is indigenous. My mother is Muskogee Creek and Catawba Indian. My father is Nigerian. And we have been working to make sure that that information gets included in the numbers, because the numbers of indigenous children are not counted. And the amount of money being made when 20, 30, 40, 50 children disappear and nobody's keeping track of it, you know. And I think the young girl last year who ended up in the juvenile justice system, who was from a reservation, she was at a group home and disappeared, and they found her dismembered 4 days later. I think that brought a lot of attention to the fact that we don't know what's going on with these youngsters on the reservations, but we should.
So you also threw out another number, and you said on average, well, this is what was reported last year, 360,000 children.
360,000 reports right now.
Right now.
That's 1,000 children a day that go missing. That's, I mean, 1,000 children a day. Where are they going? Where do they disappear to?
All right.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
You said you talked about vulnerability amongst people, and I just recently seen a trending video of a dad who literally had to make things aware. He said that he was in the kitchen cleaning dishes, and he heard his daughter say while she was on the phone, "All right, Dad, I'll come to the car and pick up the groceries for you." And he was a little bit alarmed because he said, "I never made that phone call." So when he went to her, she was putting on her shoes. And he goes, "Where you going?" She says, "You just called me on the phone to tell me to come outside to get the groceries for you." And he goes, "I never called you." And it just alerted him to say that they're now using AI to sound like parents to come out and do things. What is the I guess the awareness, not even awareness, what is the protocol now to help parents get alarmed for their children? Because if they, God forbid, if the parent is not at home and like he overheard that and they actually walk out because of this AI, what is going on? How can we prevent our children or allow our children to really know, like, this is not me?
Okay, so a couple of things come to mind. One of the first things that comes to mind is a case that we had recently that I was aware of. Fortunately, the young lady was found before we had to get involved physically, before we had to go look for her. But she had been groomed on the page called Snap something.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat by this. Okay, right. um, by this person who had told this website, this app is called Little Girls Runaway Girls. That's what it's called, and it teaches little girls how to run away. It's teaching girls and boys how to run away. And this young lady was groomed over a period of 3 months by somebody who was pretending to be her friend on Snapchat. They finally told her to pack a bag, get her, and no problems with the school, excellent student, no problems with the parents, no beefs between her and her parents. Told her to get her birth certificate, make sure that she had her birth certificate, pack her bag, leave it in the garage, and then she was told to tell her parents she was going out to the garage because they were doing spring cleaning. She said, "I'm taking this box out to the garage," and she never came back. They also told her to disable all of her social media pages before she left the house. Okay, disable her social media pages. Make sure she had she had her birth certificate. Pack her bag and put it in the garage. And and take the SIM card out of your phone. This little girl didn't have a cell phone. She's that young. She didn't even have a cell phone. And so the mother, she told her mother, "I'm going out and take this box to the garage." Mother didn't think anything of it. She didn't come back. But the mother didn't know that she didn't come back. So the older sister came home and said, "Where's my little sister? She's upstairs in her bed." No, she's not. Now they start looking for her. Okay. So they were able to go in and reinstate her social media page. They were able to ping an address in another city 3 states away. They had that house under surveillance. They found and the neighbors were able to pull their cameras, their Ring cameras. And so there was footage of the car that picked her up, footage from the gas station where they had stopped. And so they were able to find the address 3 states away, and they had the house under surveillance. They saw the young lady leave the house that fit the description of one of the people who had picked her up. Okay. When they got to the house, not only did they find the young girl who was missing, but they found 9 other teenage girls who had been lured in. Here's the catch. The father is a police officer. The mother was a police officer. And the brother is a deputy sheriff.
Okay, so
you ask me how
where
I think that it begins with sitting down and having a serious conversation. Yeah. It really does. Yeah. Because it's not something that you're just going to say, "Hey, remember to lock the door. Remember to." Mm-hmm. No. You need to have a conversation with your children based on your understanding of what human trafficking is, and that doesn't mean scare them to death.
Right.
Right. That's not what that is. Right. Because the one thing about it is, for instance, one of the things we talk about with the child ID packet is that traffickers will tell the children, "Ain't nobody looking for you. Mm-hmm. And ain't nobody look. You don't even see your face on the news. Ain't nobody looking for you." And I tell people, be very careful. Don't put those flyers out on your child immediately, because now you become a liability. And there's no telling what traffickers will be desperate enough to do. Mm-hmm. So you have to let the police officers do their job, but you have to have that conversation after the traffickers tell them, "Ain't nobody looking for me." The one thing with the child ID packet is it gives that child and that adult the confidence that I know somebody looking for me. Right. I know my parents are looking for me because they fill that packet out. They fill that ID out. And so that's one thing, is making sure that you sit down and have that conversation with them. Because what you'll do, you'll find out some information you never thought you, well, they may have a friend. I have a friend, he don't go home to his mom and dad every day. He doesn't go to lunch, or she doesn't go to lunch. She leaves with her boyfriend. He drives a really nice car. What? Or the daughter or the son will tell your child or your grandchild, if my mama calls, tell them I'm spending the night with you this weekend, but I'm really going to be with my boyfriend. Now, we think those are things that only happen in the movie, but those things happen and it's real. And how do I know it? How many times have you been out after 11 o'clock at night and you see kids running the street that are underage and wonder,
Where are the parents?
Yeah.
how about
Mm-hmm.
do you remember the commercials? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where
Do
your
you
kids
know
are?
where
Childish.
children are?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't even do that anymore. And so we have to make sure we have those conversations. And they're difficult conversations because they require the parents to also have some knowledge. Because these kids can ask you some questions you never thought were going to come out of their mouth. You know, um, we have to teach them to be wise. So we have to talk to them, have those difficult conversations, but we also have to tell them, if something like that happens, this is what I want you to remember. These are the things. And we talk about that in the training. What are the things you can tell your children to remember if it happens to them? What are some of the things that you can do to leave a trail so that somebody, if they see it, will pay enough attention to it that they'll report it? If it's in a certain area, you can tell your children to do certain things, and if you go to that area, you're going to see it, even though nobody else will recognize it. Nobody else will recognize that purple handkerchief hanging somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's surprising that this young girl didn't have a phone, because I think everybody, don't we come out the womb with a phone now?
No, we do not. We do not. And
My daughter has had an iPhone. My daughter has had an iPhone since she was 8 years old.
no, I'm
joking.
done.
8
No,
years old.
no.
I don't have an iPhone. I have an Android.
No.
Okay, but
No.
but little things like being able to leave that message, being kids being able to identify stickers on the windows of certain businesses that identifies those businesses as see something, say something businesses. People are talking about, well, isn't there a hand signal or something? Who pays attention to that? If you're in the grocery
Other
store,
than the Masons and the Eastern Stars. Yeah.
listen, that we have signs. No, she didn't say that. But anyway,
She did.
She did.
we have signs in bathrooms at the airport, right?
Yeah.
You've seen them, right? For human
Yes.
trafficking. How many
Yes.
times do we stop and actually read it?
Oh no, we
So if you got to
overlook
use the
it. Yeah.
bathroom, you're trying to get in there to pee. I'm sorry, we've got to get in there to use the bathroom. And
Yeah.
when you're leaving quickly because you got a plane to catch.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So I appreciate the fact that we have them in bathrooms because they do help. But I think about right now, what is most effective is making sure that people are educated and informed, that we know what to do, how to respond.
And
what to
especially
report.
educating the children, because
Yeah.
Right.
Vex the Wolf put it in the chat, and
Yep.
she said because she knew
Yep.
what story Tiffany was talking about, and the
code
father
word.
the code word. And I remember years ago, because I'm all Oprah all the time. She had a show where they were talking about child kidnapping and this very subject, and so the expert mentioned then it was the code word. And I
Yeah.
never forget, I sat my daughter, who was, I think maybe 8 at the time, I sat her down after seeing this show because it rocked my world. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, and I was living in a small town then. I said, oh my God, this is where they come. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Be surprised. Yeah. Truck stops.
This is their
in small
targets.
towns.
No. So I sat down and I shared with her, if I ever send somebody for you and you don't know they're coming, they have to give you the code word. And we created a code word, of course, for her 8-year-old mind and brain to retain. And I'll never forget, we were attending this church, and at this point, She was old enough to walk from the school to the sitters because the school was only 2 blocks away. So she would leave school, walk over to the sitters. A deacon from the church saw her walking, and he saw who she was. She said, "Hey." She looked at him. She knew who he was. She said, "Hi." He said, "You going to Miss Millie?" She said, "Yes." He said, "Well, come on, I'm heading that way. I could give you a ride." She looked at him and said, "What's the code word?" Now, this is a man she saw every Sunday. And I said, if it's not me, if it's not your father, and I didn't tell you someone was coming to get you, whoever that person is, I have given them this code word. And then back then, they were afraid of me. I was in charge. Don't you ever get it, without that code word. Right. Right? I don't want you to get hurt. I love you. Right. And, and it worked.
The traffickers are so smart that you have to include in that, if it's somebody, whether you know them or not, if they don't give you the code word, they need to come with a police officer, because it could be that you are injured and we're not able to communicate that information. Right. And if you tell them, let me get a police officer, and they don't want to listen, that's when you know it's a problem. So if they're not willing to go and get a police officer, then that it's a problem. If they don't give you the code word, or they don't come with a police officer, the answer is no. And at that point, you're supposed to scream fire. Don't scream help.
Yeah, we did that.
Scream
fire, and run the other way, away from the traffic. Yeah.
The other thing I have taught my girls, and I started years ago when they were in high school, I think it's true for boys and girls now. Everybody needs their own drink cup. We have so many drink cups. They're gorgeous. They're marked. It's like Crocs. You can put your name on it and everything else. Give them for their birthday. Give them their own cup. Don't put their name on it, but give them their own cup, and tell them you don't drink anything out of this cup unless you put it in there, or you saw saw them put it in there. But you don't take a drink from anybody. You don't take a drink that somebody says, "Here, I bought you a drink." No, let me tell you. Last month, we had, and it was all over the news. Last month, one of our flight attendants, they were laying over in Ecuador, and they went out to dinner, which is normal. That's what we do when we're on layovers. We go out and party, whatever, have dinner. And he came back to the hotel with one of the other flight attendants, and he said he was going to go back out. He was going to go to the bar, or he was going to go play pool or something. And they found her several hours later, the young lady that had come back, wandering around. And when they took her to the hospital, they tested her. She had been drugged. They found him 5 days later, and he was unalive, 2 hours from the city where he had been on a layover. And these are adults. Imagine what they would do to a kid who takes a drink from them and can't remember anything. And the young lady did not remember anything. She, the drugs that they're giving them, and they're giving them these drugs. They'll walk by them and inject them with a needle. Yeah, little things like that. Yeah. So they have to be careful. And the point is not to put fear in our children. The point is to make sure they are educated and informed about how to take care of themselves and what to do when they are in unfamiliar situations.
And see, this is why this was crucial. I do want to say, if there's anyone that's watching and you have a question, because we're going to end this pretty soon. The time gets away from us, and especially when it's really good content. If you have a question for Dr. Hubbard, put it in the chat for me. I felt it was crucial because you know what I thought about? It's the summertime is coming. And I watch so many young ladies who are friends. I have goddaughters who will, travel, and they go into other countries. And you think the buddy system is working for you. No, it's 2, it's 3 of us, it's 4 of us. And then when you shared the story of the male flight attendant, I said, okay, you know what? We need to sound the alarm and sound it loudly. Because the summer's coming. And when you share it with me to this day, you won't drink anything out of you. You take your own cup everywhere you go. I've been drugged, right? And
So have I.
hanging out. Well, my drug story didn't turn out like yours, thank God. You know what I'm saying? But I remember going out with a friend. And years ago, for the saints that's listening, years ago, I went out after work, and I literally only had 2 drinks. 2. But I remember her, trying to help me down the street, and that didn't make sense to me. And then she's telling me all the things that happened the night before. She was like, "No, we took a cab from Midtown to your house because I couldn't take you on a train. It's not that I was heavy," she said, "but I was in no condition for her to even get me to it." And she could have handled me if it was just I was slightly tipsy. She said, "No, I think one of the dudes at the bar put something in your drink."
And it happens.
And it happens.
It happens at sporting games, football games. It happens in concerts. It happens girls' night out at the club. It happens when somebody walks up, "Hey, I thought you're really cute. I see you out here with your girlfriends, and I know it's your birthday, so I wanted to just treat you to a birthday drink. That's very nice. Sit it down right here."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't take drinks from strangers.
I don't take drinks from strangers. That's a good line.
I don't take drinks from strangers.
Tiffany, do you have any other questions? Because we can do this all night.
How can people donate to those packages? Because I think that's so important for us to continue to get out.
You can send me a message on my website, or send me a message on my email, Pastor WATW@yahoo.com. Pastor, PASTOR, WATW, woman at the well at yahoo.com. And I can send you the packages, however many you need. Okay. And we want to make sure those packages get into the hands, and it tells you what to do, how to do it. And they're very simple to use. And it's important when you fill it out, you don't give it to anyone, because, we're very protective of the information about our children. Of course, we should be.
Yeah.
But you want to fill that information out, put it in your Bible, put it up in your closet, put it in your drawer. You don't need to give it to anybody until you needed to give it to somebody. And when they say give us 72 hours to get the information, you hand that pack to them and say, "This is all the information you need to look for my child. Look for my child now." And those packets are so valuable that there was an elderly woman who had Alzheimer's and dementia, and her family had filled out the packet on their children. Well, they were caring for their grandmother, the mother who had Alzheimer's dementia, and they came home and mother was gone. And they called the police, and they made a police report. And while the police were there and they were taking the report, they got a call that there was a strange woman in a yard 2 blocks away. And they went over there, and because of that package, they had the description, they had the information. She had grown up in that house 2 blocks away. So she had gone out, and the only place she could remember to go to was the house she grew up in.
Yeah.
But they found her because they had the information. That family was wise enough to fill that same information for the children. They filled it out for that grandparent. And that made it a whole lot easier to identify her when they found her.
All right, Dr. Hubbard, thank you so much. I'm encouraging everyone who is watching tonight. And like I said, everyone is a part of a church, a women's group, an organization who we know would really benefit from this information. And what Dr. Hubbard gave us tonight is just a drop in the bucket of what her actual informational workshop and training is designed to be. It stretches over, I think it's 2 hours, right? I think it stretches over 2 hours.
The entire training, it's a certified training, and the entire training is about 4 hours, because we also do scenarios that allow people to see different scenarios and different things on screen. And I'll ask you to identify, what are the warning signs? What are some things that don't look right in these pictures?
Yeah.
What doesn't look right in this video? What doesn't sound right in this conversation?
Right. And then she also will do it virtually. Like I said, because we're in this day and age where we know enough people all over the country that we can get 20 women leaders to come on and take them back to whatever industry they're a part of. I highly suggest this. This is valuable information, and we don't want it to be like everything else, to where it doesn't really affect you until it affects you. And you say, well, not my child, or not anyone I know. It doesn't affect you until it affects you. And from a humanistic point of view, this should affect all of us. I have to repeat that number again. She said 2 numbers she gave out. This is $150 billion. I'm sorry, with a B, $150 billion a year industry, for lack of a better word. And over 360,000 children are missing as of today. And it is, where are we? We're April going into May, and the summer hasn't even gotten here yet. And so that's, as she said,
that's the number of reports. That's the number of reports that we had from 2020. From 2025, 360,000.
Yeah. And it's always higher. We know it's always higher, especially, with the state of our union at the moment, with the immigrant situation. And a lot of immigrants, even if their children they would be afraid to report it, because now there is no protection for them.
Absolutely.
Under these laws in our Constitution. But that's another show. Come see me in June. I'm working on something. Okay. So I want to say again, thank you, Dr. Hubbard. I don't see any questions in the chat. Y'all have no questions. Put some hearts in the chat so I still know that you're there and that you have a full sleep.
Can I add one thing? I want to say this. What you are doing, Lady Bree, is so important. When you bring critical issues like this to the community, you bring critical issues like this to a place where people can sit and listen. And that way they don't even have to be looked at when their expressions, sometimes it triggers them because they remember something that happened to them or to someone that they knew. And when you bring these kind of issues to the forefront, it's so important that people are able to access this information without making themselves feel vulnerable, or embarrassed. But I want people to understand that if you're not willing to sow a seed and invest in your own family, your own community, your own people, your own safety, then who can we look to provide safety? I often say, if you go to a bank and ask for a loan to buy a piece of property, and the property costs you $1,000, and the bank says, okay, to pay us $10 a month for that property, and then you leave, and every month you give the bank the $10, but you go look at that property and you're like, grow, multiply, do something. Then you go back to the bank and give them $10 next month. And you come back to the property and stare at it and expect it to do something. Nothing's going to happen in that property until you sow a seed there. And our communities will not be safe because somebody else protects us. Our communities will be safe because we protect ourselves. And that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be about educating and informing ourselves, our children, our communities. In order for us to build strong families and build strong communities, it starts with us. We have to be willing to sow those seeds. And just a small amount makes a big difference.
Yes.
It makes a huge difference in being able to take the time. And I know what it takes just to do the trainings that we do, because I have to relive everything that I teach. And I tell people, I could pay for your degree, but you can't put a price on my life experience, what I bring to the table.
Mhm.
It's priceless.
It is-
And I don't say that to brag, but it's my children were the biggest, had the greatest impact of not having their mother there. So I say that to say people should not be, what we're holding on to is so much smaller than what God's got for us, that $10 or $20 donation can make a difference in what somebody else learns
right.
about how to protect their children,
Right.
their community.
Right.
So I just wanted to put that in there.
Thank you for that. As you see, Dr. Hubbard's information is still on the screen. Her website, we'll repeat it again, is bishopdonnahubbard.com. It's her name. You can't get any simpler than that. Her ecclesiastical title and her government is up in there. And to
My
email
government
her,
name.
Government name. And you can email her at pastorwatw@yahoo.com. That is Pastor W for Wanda, A as in Apple, T as in Thomas, W as in win at yahoo.com. Please email
where you can remember it. It's easy. Woman at the well.
Everybody ain't that deep. They just not that deep. Everybody don't understand. They don't know it. But they remember Wanda from, Living Single. You know what I'm saying? You got to meet people where they are, Doc.
Where they are. Mm-hmm.
I meet everybody where they are. Okay. So, everybody ain't in Bible study. They don't know this. Okay. So, there's a couple of things I love y'all so much. Because the best thing with me is just go with my crazy, because that's the only thing I got. Just follow me.
Hey,
you end up
I'm down with you, sis. I am down with you. Yes, I'm down with you.
All right. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in and hanging out tonight, because again we went a little over time, but the content, and at least this week we didn't do it. Last week, Dr. Hubbard, we spent the first 20 minutes of the show naming old shows from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. It was the chat. It was the people in the chat. So it wasn't my fault. And I wasn't late. So, anyway, and we were having tech issues. Well, I was, because I was traveling. But anyway, so always at the bottom of the screen, and I remind everyone, I have not worked in 4 years. So I always, put the donation sign at the bottom of the screen, because it helps me to keep the content coming. It helps me pay for the program. And like I said, so we're not on Zoom like everybody else. So it looks much better on YouTube. Thank you very much. So the information, like Dr. Hubbard said, it all counts, whether it's $5, $10, $7. Hulu gets 12 of my dollars every month faithfully. Don Lemon gets 13. I don't even blink, because I am a lemon head. All right. This is after my money to church. Don't worry. Deep people. I do make sure I'm consistent. So please feel free to give us a donation, whatever the size is. Never turned away. As my mama used to say, we don't turn down nothing but our colors. So the Cash App is $be free 217. That's $be free 217. We also have Venmo, and that you can find us with the @ be free -217. That's be free -217. All right, so I want to do a couple of quick announcements, and then we are going to get out of here. America told me it's not too late to take my mental chill. It's not too late, sis. It's not too late. Yes, it is, because it gives you energy. I want to go to bed. All right, so I'll double up tomorrow, Tiff. I'll double up tomorrow, because that brain fog was something awful. Okay. I've been doing very, very well. I'm proud of myself. And I give all the credit to the Black Girl Vitamins. All right. I had some other ones over here. I think my son took them out of here. He said, "What is all of this stuff on your desk? You don't need these things. Is this part of the show?" And I'm like, "No." Then give me that. Okay, anyway. All right. So, May, get yourselves together. Tell your mama and them. Tell your sister and them. Tell everybody and them. I have dubbed May Mother's Month. So every Monday night in May, with of course the exception of Memorial Day weekend, we will be doing a mother type centered broadcast. I will be sitting down with two of Bishop Hubbard's daughters to discuss, and their segment is titled My Mother's Daughters. So they're coming from two perspectives. I'm sitting down with a therapist who chose therapy or went deeper into therapy after losing her son. So it was a way for her to that help heal her so she could help heal others and identify how she was feeling. And she's been practicing for many years now. So that was very profound. And I got some other stuff brewing. You know, I'm always brewing. So May is Mother's Month. Tell Lottie Dottie and tell everybody. Tiffany's gonna help me with my social media so we can really get the word out. We are growing. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. The subscription is free.
Say it again, sis. Say it again.
I have not reached 100 people, but then when we go back and watch the numbers, we see that over 30, 40 people are watching each broadcast, but you know, they're just watching and not subscribing. So I'm encouraging everyone to subscribe. The other thing, one more thing. I'm trying to start a book club for the month of May. May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. We will never forget these things. If your mind isn't right, everything else is tanked, is all going to hell real quick. So we have to, you know, stay on top of it. But this is a really good book. And when I started reading it on my journey to North Carolina the other week, I read something and I had to take a picture of it. And Tiff, I sent it to you. And I believe Dr. Hubbard, I sent it to you. I sent it definitely to Dr. Mack, because the very thing that she had said, that no one is coming to get you. The only one who can start is you. She had just said it the night before. And I sent her, you know, the photo of the book. And I'm like, look at this. She was like, wow, she has never read the book, but she had that wisdom. And then it was in here. So if you're interested in joining me for a book club, let me put my email back up. Hold on, because I am doing the tech. God help me, Lord. Where am I? Oh, here it is. So if you like to join me, and you don't have my phone number direct, you can email me at befreenow.info@gmail.com. That's befreenow.info@gmail.com. I want to start this at the top of May, and I'm hoping that I can get at least 5 women to join me. I was in a leadership summit on Saturday, and I had the book with me, and I took it out my bag to get a pen. And the young lady that I was sitting to, she grabbed the book. She said, I need to read this. As soon as you finish, give it to me. Or you can do what I did and go on Amazon. I will send you the link, because I'm thinking about joining, you know, starting a book club. So if I give you the book, I won't have the book to reference to. She was like, there you go. We could do that. So anyway, there's a couple of things that I want to do. I'm very excited. So if you're down with me, email me, text me. If you want, I want to again say thank you to my guest co-host tonight, the other Tiffany from North Carolina, and again I have to give a shout out and a plug to their new podcast that is titled Coffee and Mimosas. Oh my God, I just love this name. I love it. Right? It is so dope. Coffee and Mimosas. And when she first said it to me, I said, explain, Lucy. You know, Lucy.
It's different. I think a lot of people, you know, I started with a couple of my friends every morning at 8 a.m. 3 of my other friends and myself would get on Messenger, and we basically start our day. And some days they're like, I need a drink. And other days they're like, I like to need a cup of coffee. Right. And so we just kind of cracked up and was like, oh, coffee and mimosa. And they got to some of my friends, they're married. 2 of them married, and their husbands was like, oh yeah, have another coffee mimosa morning, you know. And so it kind of grew into, we kind of need to kind of lighten the mood for people. not just women, but for people, the way the society is right now. So, God is like, go forth, and so I created the logo, which you see in the back of me.
Yes, beautiful.
I have people that's actually working with me to kind of get the StreamYard together. We shot our first episode this weekend, had a lot of technical difficulties, but we're trying to get things in order. We have our social media pages that's up, so we're looking forward to getting that out and just things getting started. I mean, life is really lifing, but we really still want to give this great, have a laugh, and we talk about everything. In our first episode, we talked about a trending video that's out, and each woman had a different perspective from it. And at the end of the conversation, we were laughing, but we still had to understand it from both perspectives. So it's just basically a show, podcast you get on, you laugh, you talk, and it's not too heavy and it's not too deep. But we're going to talk about real issues. And like this podcast, you got to come with facts. You just can't talk about anything.
Right.
And so that's what it's about. And I'm excited for what we're doing. There's so many other things, Bree knows I'm a book author, so I have books on Amazon. I am a pastor, one of the associate pastors. I teach Bible study. So it's been a week.
It's been a week.
This week.
All I know is I want a t-shirt because I'm a t-shirt whore. So all t-shirts
now. I have people calling, writing, sending me stuff now. I like the introduction. Actually, a good person of mine, he did the introduction of our show in the intro. So you see 4 women with 2 of us got coffee, 2 of us is a cartoon. It's really dope. It's really dope.
And you clapping each other. Yes,
it's really dope. And I love it. So we're going to be shooting, sending that video out through our social media platforms, and I'll be happy to give you.
Yep. As soon as you have it, I'm sharing and I'm plastering it everywhere. And I just love you. And thank you again for hanging out with me. And Dr. Hubbard is easy when they both have the same name. And you can just say, so Tiff, take it. Right. You don't say, Tanya, take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a line. It was a line.
It's
Especially if I don't have my mental shell to help me with my brain fog. So.
Yeah, man. It's a shame we can't name our children like that. Name them all the same name.
We do. Hey, you girl, come here.
Boy 1, boy 2.
Hey, boy, come here. You boy, you know your name. We grew up in the South.
Why didn't you call them every name except their name?
Yes, been there, done that.
I know. Trust me, I understand. I have
started doing it. I sound like my grandmother. I said, "Oh my God."
Yes, man. I'll do. You know what I'm talking about. You.
Yeah, you know who you are. Come here, girl. I'll be calling her my sister, my cousin, every girl. You come here. You know it's you. So that's their name. Hey, girl, come here. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, North Carolina. Thank you, New Jersey. Thank you, New York. My cousins are on. We even have her. My cousin has her husband listening, and I just love everyone. Thank you for the support. It has been amazing. And like I said, there's a lot more people on. We don't know because they don't like and subscribe or engage in the chat. America, I love you. 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 That's my girl right there. I told you, Tip, that's the one who said, no, I have the Black Girl vitamins. Look at my skin. I was hyped. And then I talked to you. I ordered them 3 days later. And I'm like, hey, let's go.
Got about 50 people on Facebook on my end watching.
See, this is what I'm saying.
Oh, I love it.
This is amazing. Thank you. All right, ladies, I love you. Have an amazing rest of your evening. Amazing week. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining Woman to Woman. Like I said, this is the show. We are real women. We have some real issues. And God knows we have real conversations. Until we meet again, thank you again for hanging out with me. I'll be on the road again next week. So y'all just, I told you. Don Lemon is the man on the street and Bree Foltz is the woman on the street. She is out here in these streets. Coming live from whatever city I'm going to be in. All right. I'm just planning for my future, y'all. Let's go. I love y'all. Until we meet again, family, thank you so much and good night. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. God bless and thank you.
Yeah. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations.